Hey guys, welcome back to Hands On Channel. We're out here in my big shop today. I thought we would do a little bit of a change of scenery here just to keep it interesting and stuff, but I wanted to go over some of the news stories that I saw that I thought were pretty important from this last week. And as I said before, I'm just a regular YouTube creator. I've got a regular job, so I can't dedicate my full time to monitoring and uploading the news or going over this stuff. But when I see several stories in a row that stand out to me or get my hackles up, or actually in this case, I actually saw several examples of some good news. So I want to share some of that with you guys and talk to you about things that you can do in your own local communities and states to try to combat this globalism that we see strangling the United States right now and all of our liberties and freedoms. So anyways, let's get right into this. We'll start with the bad news first. Of course, there was another stabbing or attempted stabbing in Ohio. I can't remember exactly what town that was in. One of the big cities there in Ohio. You saw the video by now, I'm sure. There was a group of people, young people. It looked like 2 or 3, 4 young people. When the police officer shows up on the scene, there's an older gentleman trying to kick what appears to be a younger female in the head. So he's trying to kick her in the head. The police officer's trying to respond to that. And then suddenly, out of like his peripheral vision, he must have seen that other girl pulls out like a butcher knife or something and starts trying to attack the girl in the pink. So clearly, the police officer had to make a split-second decision right there. And wow, what a marksman that guy was. No one else except for the intended target got hit. And I mean, that's amazing. I think he fired 4 shots. And as it turns out, the guy was an ex-military marksman. So that's probably why he had a great deal of training. And he knew what he had to do in that situation to save a life. I don't know if they still go by it or not, but one of the old things that the police used to say, and used to say it on the sides of all the police cars, is to serve and protect. So that was a situation, where he had to protect that person. And of course, I didn't even read what he said, but I heard LeBron James spouted off one of his stupid liberal comments, and now everybody's turning on him. So the police officer, in my opinion, was a hero. He did exactly what he needed to do to save a human life and to prevent bloodshed and harm coming to that girl in the pink. He just arrived on the scene. I don't know who called. There was some controversy about whether the girl with the knife actually called the police or the girl in the pink called the police. I don't really know, and I haven't followed it that closely, but I know there was a little controversy about that. It really doesn't matter. When you show up, even if you were the person that called the police, you have no right to attack somebody or to lunge at someone with a knife, especially once the police arrive. Now, if you were arguing that you were doing that in self-defense, then you would need to be in a self-defensive situation where you were physically, in fear for your life before you could justifiably, strike back with a knife or anything like that. So again, the woke mob, what really gives me a little bit of hope in all of this stuff is that I'm seeing people starting to turn on the woke mob. And that is great news, guys. That is great news. I knew they were going to push this idiotic behavior to the level where if you have eyes to see, even if you're not on the right or a conservative or a libertarian, eventually even the Democrats are going to start looking at these policies that have been implemented since Biden came into office, and they're going to say, okay, there's a problem here. You can't, go after the police officer and say it's racism when the guy was just doing his job. So that was a big story, and really, it was a big nothing. The cop did what he was supposed to do. He was a hero, and that should have been celebrated. But instead, the media is trying to make it into a racial issue because he was a white guy or, Caucasian looking anyways. I don't know what his ethnicity is, the police officer, and they were black. And, I've seen several memes, where, for one, it was 2 young boys, my first knife fight, and these 2 young cartoon boys are pretending to have a knife fight like it's a normal thing and like we're supposed to accept that in any culture. And they're saying, oh, yeah, that's just the way it is in black culture. No, that's a problem. When you're harming someone else, that is a violation of their liberty and their right to pursue happiness, obviously. So that's not with the spirit of the Declaration of Independence or the way this nation was founded and in the Constitution. So anyhow, we've seen a lot of stuff like that. Every time, something like that happens, the media is going to do their damnedest to try to get BLM and Antifa activated. And in some cases, it's working. The really, really low information, low education, BLM and Antifa activists are, they're ready to go. They're a tinderbox. All you need to do is add a spark. So, look for more riots, look for more weird stuff. But so let's get into some of this good news right quick, and it kind of pertains to BLM. A few days ago, I heard this thing that there's a new law going on both in Oklahoma and Florida. And I highly commend. Great job, Oklahoma and Florida. I highly commend their legislature for getting these off the ground, and their governors have already signed them into law. This is a big deal. And I heard down in Florida, there's already some talk about, they're trying to say it's unconstitutional and stuff like this. So the civil rights attorneys are probably already circling the water and stuff. But it's good that the state legislature is trying to take action to protect innocent citizens from mob violence and riots and stuff like that. And in Florida and in Oklahoma, I believe, the laws are very similar. I don't know if they're written the same exactly. I don't think they are. But basically, there was a situation in Tulsa. And I remember seeing the video. You can probably go find it, probably not on YouTube, but there's a video of like a big Dodge Dually pickup truck on the interstate in Tulsa trying to go through Tulsa. And it was surrounded. Oh, it had a horse trailer on the back of it, a big old horse trailer, like a 4-horse trailer or something like that, maybe more, a big one. And this guy's coming down through there with this big, fancy, nice new Dodge Dually. I believe it was a Dodge, because I remember thinking, wow, that thing has some ram power. Because they surrounded him and started beating on his truck and beating on his horse trailer and stuff like that. And of course, if you frighten those horses inside of a trailer, they could cause themselves harm or cause you thousands of dollars worth of damage, either getting the animal repaired or getting your trailer repaired. So these people were attacking him like crazy, and the guy had to mash the gas pedal to get out of there. And some of them got run over. Some of them got hurt and sent to the hospital. And of course, the BLM activists are trying to say that guy in the Dodge should be charged with, all the crimes or whatever, to pay for the medical bills and be thrown in prison. They want him to get the Derek Chauvin treatment because he tried to get his family out of harm. So Oklahoma and Florida, I'm very proud of them, have stepped up to the plate. They've given civil legal immunity to people whenever there's protesters blocking the roads. So you'll have civil legal immunity. At least that's how the Florida law reads. And I believe the way the Oklahoma law is written, it's something like if your life is in danger and you have to use your vehicle to get out of a situation, the state is not going to prosecute you for that. You're not going to be held, you're not going to be put in jail or prison or anything. So right after Oklahoma signed it into law, or the day they were going to sign it into law or something, BLM stormed the Oklahoma Capitol. And it was only like 15 people. But if we really wanted to, do a little compare and contrast, where is the FBI? Why are these 15 people not being held and questioned right now? Because, this was a type of insurrection, according to what they said about the actions on January 6th at the national capital, the nation's capital, this would be equivalent circumstance. So where's the FBI in all this? Why aren't they rounding these 15 Black Lives Matter people up and, questioning their family and going through all their internet history and doing everything they can see to see if they're terrorists and why they stormed the Oklahoma Capitol? Because they were not invited in to the floor. Now, I saw a little clip on this. The way the Oklahoma Capitol is set up, they have like an upper level. I think they call it the rotunda or something. I can't remember, but it's like an upper deck level. And that's where the people come in to view. And that's where they stormed. But they weren't invited there. They were having like open session or whatever. And they came in and disrupted the business of the Oklahoma legislature. And, again, I would ask Oklahoma State Capitol Police, why was that allowed to happen? These people were clearly being disruptive. Why weren't they rounded up and taken out? And as we talked about in the last video, I think law enforcement is in a particularly precarious situation right now because they know what their job is. They know that they're supposed to, apply the law equally to everybody and every person, race, creed, sex, gender, all that different stuff. It's supposed to be equal. And they're trying to do that, but yet, based on the reaction and everything that's going on in the country and in the media right now, these officers are being forced to basically give the black people a more lenient treatment than they would normally do because they're in fear, more than likely, of either losing their job, getting sued, causing the next George Floyd incident to happen, or, whatever, the girl that got shot the other day that was trying to, stabby girl, the stab girl, that wanted to stab everybody. When the police officer neutralized that threat, now he's got people calling him a racist. And, when you're just doing your job and then suddenly you're being persecuted for that and ostracized from society, and I guarantee you, if the guy did have a social media account, he's probably left it by now, because I'm sure the army of BLM trolls will come in there and annihilate the guy. So anyhow, crazy world we live in. But yeah, I wanted to share that little bit of good news with you. Oklahoma and Florida are doing it right. And I can't recall what it was, but I heard something recently about Arkansas. Arkansas had put forth a very powerful bill, and I can't remember if it was an anti-riot bill or if it was anti-vaccine or what it was, but I don't live in Arkansas, so I wasn't paying that much attention to it. But I saw something. So what you're seeing now are these southern freedom, liberty-loving states starting to take a stand against the Biden administration, and I love it. It's just probably the best thing that I've seen so far. And the other thing you're seeing is a lot of this fake racism, this fake wokeism is starting to backfire right in their faces. Oh, God, I've got to tell you about this. I don't even have it written down here, but this just popped into my head. The CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, or whatever her name is, Wojcicki, that's what I'm going to start calling her, because she's, super woke and all this, right? Basically, she was awarded some sort of a freedom of speech award or something like that. I'll put the headline up here because I can't remember exactly what it was. But it was some sort of basically, helping people get on the platform and allowing all the voices to be heard, and on and on and on. They awarded themselves, YouTube gave themselves a fake award talking about how great they were as a free speech platform and how great it was just... my God, it was so freaking ironic that I could hardly get through the article without just busting out laughing. And apparently they did a little video and stuff, a little video series, but it was all about how she had brought all these women into the YouTube sphere. And before that, it was just basically male dominated. And I was talking to my wife about it the other night. I was like, is it possible that whatever it is about YouTube just naturally draws more males to, it draws our attention to it more than it does females, where females tend to like more social media stuff like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And personally, I hate those types of platforms. I can't stand them. There's nothing. They're empty. I like YouTube where I can come on here and put out a video like this that has some meaning to it and might get your mind turning and get you looking into these news stories. So anyways, it was really ironic. I could hardly stand it, and I wanted to tell you guys about that. The last thing, and this is if it wasn't true, I would be like in stitches on the floor over here cracking up. But I know it's true, and I know they're actually going to try to do this. So have you heard about the Biden climate plan? He just released this last week. Basically, they're going to reduce red meat consumption by 90% by 2030. That's the plan. He doesn't say how he's going to do that. But when you listen to his old boss, and actually we really should call him Biden, because I'm sure Obama and Hillary are still pulling the strings behind the scenes. But anyways, if you listen to his old boss, Obama, said it in plain English for everyone to hear. He said it in terms of energy crisis, or energy prices, actually. He said, under my plan, your energy prices will necessarily skyrocket. So how are they going to make us eat 90% less meat? Yeah, you got it. They're going to make our red meat prices necessarily skyrocket. I'm not for it. I'm not going to do that. Biden said you're going to be able to have one burger per month. Oh, thank you, Lord Biden. Oh, thank you. Because, Bill Gates and all these other people are out there trying to say that cows actually pollute more than cars do. So, okay, I challenge Bill Gates. I'll go lock myself in the garage overnight with a cow, and you go lock yourself in the garage with the car running, and let's see who makes it out. I mean, that's really, it's very simplistic, but it's true. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Are you trying to say cow farts actually are causing global warming and all this other crazy stuff that they're trying to say? It's so asinine. Again, it would be comical. I'd be laughing and rolling on the floor, except for this is real life. So the other part of his plan is that they're going to force everybody to drive EVs by 2030. And again, how can they do that? They're going to make our energy prices necessarily skyrocket. And you know, isn't it funny and not a coincidence at all that Biden keeps talking about doing all these plans by 2030? Why is that? It's because the UN Agenda 21, and think about it, we're in 2021 right now, UN Agenda 21, 2030. I think some people actually miss that and don't pick up on that little thing there. I mean, the Agenda 21 is about 2021. Agenda 2030 is about 2030. These are the plans that the United Nations and the globalists have in place and have had into place for everybody to see for decades now. All you had to do is go look at it. And of course, then you were called a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist because you were reading what the UN actually said. And I saw something earlier today. I haven't looked into it myself, but I suggest you do, and I'm going to as well. Go look at the World Economic Forum's website and just read through there at what their agenda is, because it's 100% the Great Reset. That's what we're seeing. Joe Biden is playing into it. Here it is right here. I think an argument could be made that that's a violation of our liberty, for one, to try to tell us how much red meat we can eat and to control the market like that to make it to where we can't afford to eat red meat. So anyways, guys, I don't want to go on too long. Let me know, did I miss anything? Did you see any big news stories over the week? Last one I can think of off the top of my head that was a big one is Biden's planning on raising taxes. Surprise, surprise, Democrats are going to raise taxes. It's what they always do. I asked myself, why don't they just hit print? That seems to be the answer for everything vid related. So why don't they just hit print? I mean, money means nothing anyways. It's monopoly money, right? So just instead of raising people's corporate taxes, or it wasn't corporate taxes, it was capital gains. Instead of raising people's capital gain taxes, how about you just hit print? I mean, it's only fake money, right? Just remember that. Those dollar bills in your pocket, they're essentially an IOU, and they're only good if the person that you're counting on to make them good holds to their side of the bargain. And Biden is not willing to do that. So anyways, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. And until then, we'll see you next time.